Thanks, Wardy. Yeah, these two gave an excellent masterclass on wicket-keeping if you were with us before the second ODI, and we asked young wicket-keepers to send in their videos to our @Sky Cricket Twitter account, so thank you very much for all those lads who did. I wanted to start by asking a question about kit, first of all. As you know, I had to do some wicket-keeping last Sunday, and the gloves felt horribly hard and inflexible to me. When a young wicket-keeper gets his first set of gloves, is it like a bat? Do you have to knock in your wicket-keeping gloves to make them soft and flexible?
Well, I think one of the most important things to understand is now with the equipment manufacturers, the gloves are pretty ready to go, really, when it comes to you. But try and get the cup of your palm, accustomed and conditioned in a nice round fashion to accommodate the ball. So sometimes what I used to do was I used to kind of fold the fingers together with the thumb of the glove and then tape it up for a little while, and with the ball in the center so it adjusts nicely so there are no rolls around it. But that's about it. I use them straight in a game, mostly give that about a few minutes and then use it. And then I used to change gloves about every fourth game because I hated gloves being too soft, and that really annoyed me.
Not like Jack Russell, who's used one pair throughout the whole of his career. Just final question on kit. One pair of inners, two pair of inners?
Before, if the bowling was really quick, it's really cold day, two pairs of inners. But these days, the inners are so good, you can do with one.
OK, let's get straight into the videos then. Patrick, who's 9, sent us in his wicket-keeping video. He's with his dad here, and it's good drill. His dad is throwing the ball against the wall. Patrick is quite upright in his stance here, isn't he? And I just wondered whether, in terms of young keepers working their buttock muscles and leg muscles, whether every time you do a drill you should try and get right down, so you practice coming up and down and working those legs.
Yeah, it depends. For spin, if you're keeping up, or even to seam, really, you're starting from a lower position gives you the right eye line to kind of see where the ball's coming from. And the other thing is, when you're upright and if you get into a bad position, your hands always move forward and quite hard. But the young man's doing a lot of good things there. The one thing I would like him to adjust is actually start moving his feet a little bit more, so his head is to the ball and the hands will always follow. Sometimes catching it a little bit away with the head behind is not ideal. So a little bit of change, but the drills are important.
I want to say something not to Patrick, but Patrick's dad, he can throw the odd one down the leg side as well.
Make him move.
Slightly more challenging for him.
The next thing is a tweet, actually, from Scott Nichols, and it just slightly goes on the point I was asking about your leg muscles and buttock muscles. He said, I'd be very interested in advice on working with young keepers, under 9s upwards, who keep for 35 overs plus, then open the batting, energy levels and heat. What about fitness work for a wicket-keeper?
Well, I think for wicket-keepers, drilling is the best fitness that you can do. Yes, you have all the other supplementary gym work, all of that, but if you do 45 minutes to an hour of proper keeping drills, you'll be tired at the end fit. Of it. I realized that when I gave up keeping in Test cricket, that was actually when I started having a few injuries, because I didn't have that workload going through my body, and I had to supplement that with other work. But those drills, when you do them properly and they're structured well, that's a fitness session and a half. OK, let's go to Rohan Handa, who's 13 years of age, from Hampshire. We're talking about footwork a moment ago, and this is a good example. It's a simple drill. He's on his own. He's underarming the ball against the net, but he's moving around. There's a bit of footwork there, Dinesh.
Yeah. For a start, as soon as he throws, he goes down the leg. He should watch the ball to which direction before he starts moving. So he needs to wait for the ball to get hit on that and then
move
decide
later.
Which way. So as soon as he throws, he's moving this way. So, sometimes the ball could go that way, which happened once, and he just caught it like this. So he's got to wait on that. That's a good drill. But what I would like to see is he's slightly lower as well. His eye line is on par with where a bowler's arm release would be. So something he can mimic it a little better.
Nick Denning sent us this video quite late in the day. I haven't really seen it, but there's a lot of kit here, and it's a nice drill, because what he's trying to do is get the ball hitting a number of these stumps to deflect, and so that enables him to go offside and leg side at speed.
Yeah, this is more a drill to test your reflexes, hand-eye coordination, and a quick thing. This should probably be done at the end of a good, consistent, slower drill that allows him to move, and to the dad and the coach, get him a wider net. You don't want him banging into the side net on the dive and injuring himself and not being able to keep. So a wider net, and do that for a little while at the end.
Well, needs must sometimes, and it's an interesting point you make, because I want to show Frank in Islington this terrific drill with his dad, side alley here, and he's got that mat with a ridge, so the ball will deflect offside and leg side, but obviously he's limited in the amount of space. He doesn't want to dive offside or leg side, because he's going to crash his head against the wall, but you use whatever space you can.
That's a great place to practice for me. The only thing I would say is wear a helmet, because it's so, and that thing just bounces off. He could get injured, but I'm hoping they were using a soft ball as well. That's in the limited space available, they've done really well there.
Yeah, just on that, the whole thing about wicket keeping, if you go back to the kids who are practicing, is good, solid, consistent movement and consistency and rhythm. So sometimes it's good to train those skills for reflexes and catching the ball, but don't do too much of that, because it stops you from moving. It just rushes you a little bit and your rhythm goes off. So those are good drills to start with, but build them on a foundation of a more structured, slower drill.
See that ramped ridge thing where you throw and the ball will direct. I mean, the kit now that is so different from, for example, when I started, where all you'd have is the guy underarming and somebody nicking. It's tremendous advances in equipment for wicket keepers now.
Yeah, there are, but there's no substitute for that kind of work. One-on-one, and I think Dinesh would agree as well. When you find someone who knows how to hit it to you, at what pace, how to structure drills with you, how to nick it properly, stick with that person, because that consistency and rhythm, that partnership is so important to proper development of wicket-keeping technique.
Let's have a look at Freddie, who sent us in a video. I don't know how old Freddie is, no other information, but again, he's got the two stumps there. The ball is deflecting off the stump, so that sends him to the offside. We see him going down the leg side there. I guess he can move a little bit more there with his feet, and then this is a match situation. And again, he's going down the leg side. A bit better footwork down the leg side there.
I think this kid is really good. The one good thing he's doing is taking his head to the ball. But just as you said, would like him to move a little more, especially down the leg. That'll help. The one thing is gone down the leg and use his left hand. When you go down the leg, it's better to use the arm closer to the stump, the right hand, for you to get a stumping. So these are small things, but he looks in good nick. He's moving well. He looks like a keeper with a work in progress.
He looks better than us at international level.
If I remember from what you two were saying last week, it's having the weight on your balls of your feet as well. So you're like a boxer or a ballet dancer ready to move.
Yeah, and that's the key thing you have to be a bit careful of when you structure drills, because if you rush them, what happens is you kind of shift weight here and there to try and get a quicker movement to the ball, because you're being rushed, and that's not such a good thing to start with. The reflex drill should come at the end of a really good structured, slow, rhythmic session of wicket-keeping drills.
Ian Chapman, we're going to the other end of the age scale here. UCS old boys, check the enthusiasm for the stumping. Fantastic, great reaction. But again, thinking about what you said last week, if we show that again, he's got a great view. The bowler is coming round the wicket, but he's standing way outside off stump, so he gets a good view of the trajectory of the ball.
Absolutely. You know, that's the main thing. Watch the bowler's hand, get the best sighter that you can. And what he did, catch the ball first before you attempt to stump him, basics, and he did it really well.
And you never lose that enthusiasm.
Absolutely. The most important thing about keeping, like anything else, you got to enjoy it. Sometimes it can be boring if the batsman is doing really well. On flat wickets, it can get a little boring because nothing comes to you. But the key is to keep believing every ball is going to come to you. Then subconsciously you get your gloves into the right positions.
And for a young wicket-keeper who drops a catch, it's never an easy thing. It's like a goalkeeper making a howler in a football match. You know, the whole spotlight is upon you. Think of James Bracey, for example, who had a difficult couple of test matches. How do you go through those little patches where the ball is just not going into the gloves?
Well, unfortunately, that's the wicket-keeper's lot, and that's why drills are so important. Good, steady, consistent practice. Don't change that base structure too much just because you've missed a catch. Trust your process and you'll be fine. A word of advice to all wicket keepers: you're doing the toughest job out there. Don't let anyone tell you any different. You guys are doing the toughest job. Keep at it.
Ahmed Raza, last one from Melbourne, quite like this drill. He looks as though he knows what he's doing. We've seen Ahmed before, but he's a young man who's got a lot of all-round ability. We've seen him bat before, and he looks as though he's in good nick here behind the stumps. Nice footwork, gathers the ball cleanly, and looks as though he's ready to take the stumps.
the best of the lot. He's getting into good position. Head is moving with the ball. His hips open up well. He's doing really well.
Is he Australian?
He is. He's from Melbourne.
Well, I was just about to say that wicket-keeping technique of the hips, the knees, and the gloves are very Australian in technique and very good.